Welcome back, folks, to another Dragon Ball Super deck profile video here with Chris from CTJ the Sand Elites, bringing you guys another deck profile video. And I wanted to bring you guys another very fun deck that I've been working on. I watched one of my subscribers' videos. Actually, he's seems like a pretty cool guy. Midwest DBS, another YouTube channel. We'll shout out to him. He had this very interesting deck that he showcased and evolved this leader here, the Broly leader, and I was watching it and I kind of got inspired by it a little bit. I saw what he was doing and some of the cards I don't have that he was using, but I figured I would try to make my own version of that deck. So shout out to you, man, if you were watching this video. Thank you for the inspiration on it. I was looking at it, I'm like, man, this is a really cool idea. I've never really thought about using Broly this way. But this is my interpretation of that. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll leave a deck listing down below so you guys can check out the cards and their pricing and everything else. So with this leader, obviously this leader got errated, but I agree with Midwest DBS. This card is still really good. It still has a ton of usage to it. So when this card attacks, you choose a card in your life, add it to your hand, and if you do, you draw one. So you basically get to draw 3 cards when you're swinging on that turn. When at 4 life, you untap 2. You flip, and on this side, this is the errated side. So when this card attacks, you draw 1. The first auto, whenever you choose one, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode once per turn. And then the second one is activate main. You can choose 1 card from your life, add it to your hand, and you get to choose not one of your cards, but you can choose one of your Broly BR cards and switch it to active mode. One of your Broly BR cards. So in the future, if they make Unison BR cards for Broly, which they probably will, you can untap those. But for now, you actually can untap your leader, which is really cool because you get to swing again and draw. So he is basically a untap, draw 3 on your awakened side. So basically on your awakened side, you're drawing a total of 4 cards. When you do this, because you can draw a card from your the game mechanic, you swing, draw the card, take a card from your life, so you're adding another card, restand, swing again. So drawing 4 cards. But that activate main, when you get to tap one of your opponent's battle cards, is so strong. And I definitely don't have all the cards that I would want to do for this deck. But for what I have right now, I still think this deck could be pretty good and some sort of variation of it. So we'll give it a shot here. So 3 check lands for Beerus, the blue-yellow. We're running the blue-yellow variant just because it is very defensive, very interactive, and very focused on tapping down cards. So we got 3 of those. I had 2 of these, the Super Saiyan 3, the last straw for self-awakening. Obviously, we self-awaken on our own, but if we want to get to 4 quicker, we do have some self-awakening cards in the deck to do that. So you take a life, this card gains 10k in double strike. You'll see in most of my videos now, I don't run the crit self-awakeners. I love the double strike ones. Just something about double strike just excites me, you know? So we have 2 of these. We run 3 Universe 9 Assemble. This is for our drawing mechanic. So I love this card. I think there's so many drawing cards in the game that you don't need to buy the Great Ape Goku's, the $140 SR card that's way overpriced. Obviously, I'm sure some people will argue that card's just extremely good and you have to buy it, but I think there are variants around it where you don't need to spend that type of money. You can kind of roll with what you have. So this card, activate main or battle, you draw 2. So you tap 2 yellow, draw 2. That's just good in itself. But in this deck, we do run Universe 9. So if our opponent, all their energy is tapped, we can choose 1 Universe 9 card in our deck, energy cost of 2 or less, and play it, shuffle our deck. So we get to draw 2 cards, and then we get to play a card for free on top of that, if all of their energy is tapped out. So very good early, especially if it's like turn 2, they tap out. This is just a good chance for you to get some value on the board. So targets for this, we run 2 row, Brash Supremacy. When this card attacks, you choose one of your opponent's energy, choose one of your opponent's cards, switch it to rest mode. So we can tap Unisons, we can tap battle cards, we can tap energy. Obviously, the best target for that is going to be energy. We run 2 Chappies or Chapels, the Iron Drake. When one of your opponent's cards attacks, once per turn, choose one of your opponent's energy and switch to the rest mode. So if they attack, just tap it. And we have 2 of them. So if we have 2 of them on the board, tap down 2 energy. Then we run 3 Basils. Comes out on the field, draws. So on that turn, if you play that, the Universe 9 Assemble, you draw 2. Play this, you draw another one. So you have to tap 2, draw 3. When this card's played, if all of your opponent's energy is in rest mode, this card gains 15k in dual attack for the duration of your turn and your opponent's turn. So until the start of your next main phase, this card is a 19k. So you can't, it's not a 4k. You can't just swing it with a little 5-drop card and kill it. It has to be combo with a little bit, so it's a little bit harder to remove. We only run 3 because you can only have one of these cards on the board at once, so we can't use Universe 9 Assemble twice in a row to play out 2 of these. You just can only have 1, which is kind of fine. We run 4 of the Zamasu combos. Probably the best super combo in the next going into the next format, because you can tap down your opponent's leader or battle cards. So cards that have dual attack, leaders that have dual attack like Gohan, you just tap it down and stop them from attacking. We run 4 of the Bojack Arrivals. Sorry, for the Bojack Arrivals. Comes out. We like this because it comes out for 1 yellow energy, not a blue, and this deck is primarily yellow. Play it, tap down one of your opponent's battle cards, and then your opponent mills a card. So give you some defense and some deck control. So you can just make them mill a card. 3 Bojack negates, same idea. This is actually a negate. This is actually a 1-drop negate. Comes out for 2 if you have a blue-yellow energy in your energy. And when you play this card, your opponent mills the top card of their deck. So you get to negate an attack, and then they mill. Very strong card. I wanted to test these out instead of using the Champa, just because I know how good Champa is. Hellfire 17, the Neutralizer. So this card came out in set 9. A lot of people just looked at it and said, oh, okay, it's a worse version than Champa. I'm not going to play it. What's nice about this card is that when you play it, or it's placed in the drop area from the battle area by a skill, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and negate its skills for the duration of the turn. So if they play the 5-drop Frieza, the Overdrive, you play this, negates its skills. If this card's removed from the board, you get to choose another card and negate its skills. Now, the one thing that it obviously gets around Deflect, but the one thing I was interested in is if this will negate Barrier. I don't think it does. I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to scream at me saying, no, it doesn't. That doesn't make any sense. But by the wording, you say, okay, it chooses 1 battle card and then it negates its skills. Keywords are skills. So go ahead and argue in the comments about that. 1 Frost Deadly Poison. Since we're running blue-yellow, you should run it. Only run a 1 of. If I see it, it's great. If not, it is what it is. 2 Nimbai, since we're running yellow. And 3 Sensubin. A lot of my decks now, I don't really feel like you should run 4. It's really, really good, but there's so many other cards you can run that you just take one of these out and you feel like you still have the effect of it. 1 Venomous Fist Lavender. I love this card. It's Barrier Blocker and Deflect. Those cards going to hit the field, and then it just sits there. And until you're ready, you basically can activate its main, which is only used for once per game, but you get to tap 2 of your opponent's energy. And that's really good, because if your opponent only has 2 energy up and you're about to go in for game, having this on the board where you can just tap it 2 energy at any time on your turn, pretty strong. Can basically make it so that you can just tap them out and then you just go for game and they can't really do anything about it. We needed a higher blue count, so why not just run a really strong blue card? So we run 2 Boonies, and they're also 5Ks as well. You play out 3 afterimage tokens. They're all 15k power, so you basically get 4 bodies for 4 energy. At the end of your turn, you get to restand an energy if the top card of your opponent's deck is a battle card. And also, this card cannot die if there are afterimage tokens on the board. KOing, not removed from the board by a skill or by negging. They're not considered KOing. So if it's KO'd, can't be KO'd, but it can be removed. Doesn't really matter though. Just run it in here mainly for the fact that we need more blue, but at the same time, it's an amazing card, so it fits. 2 Vegeta Final Flashes. I think this is really underrated. I know I bought these cards for about $1, and then they went up after the yellow stuff was announced, and they went up to like $5-6. I don't know what they are right now. But if your leader is yellow, you gain 15k to either your leader or your battle card. And if all of your energy is yellow, choose one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, and negate all of its skills. So if someone's swinging at you with the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, someone's swinging at you with just a barrier card in general, you can play this. So one cool little combo that I saw that you can do. So Invoker is a big thing, right? So I hate Invoker. hate it. Let's say you're swinging with Leader. You can use this card. You can choose a card. So you can choose like the Deflect Barrier Vegeta. Basically remove its barrier and deflect. Use your Leader effect to tap it, and then swing at it. Gives you just some good board removal. And because it removes all its skills, it also doesn't have Invoker. So you can basically just swing at it, and they're like, oh, I'll use Sleepy Boy techniques. Like, okay, go ahead, pay 3 energy, because you can't pay 1. It's also really good defensively. Card has triple attack, card has triple strike. They combo a ton of cards on top of stuff. They give it double strike. I'm pretty sure when you play this, it just negates its double strike. So, negates everything. Very, very good defensive card. I would run more if I had the space to. But as of right now, I think it's really, really good. You also can use like a Bojack combination. So you can use this to negate, let's say it has barrier, and then use this to tap it, and then swing at it with something else. Pretty strong. So we got 2 of those. One Justice Blast. You're probably going to get sick of me saying this, but I'm going to say it in every single video until people start doing it. Is any of the 3-drop extra cards that remove barrier from set 9, you should run one of them in every one of your decks. It's just a really, really good card. 5k combo in your hand if you want to for free, or you can remove something that has barrier. The yellow one's not as good because it has to hit something in rest mode, as most yellow stuff does. But with decks like this, because your leader can just tap battle cards, it's not a huge problem. We have things that we can put things in rest mode, so not that big of a deal. So we have one of those. Now we get to the game enders of the deck. So one of those game enders is going to be Hit in Cold Blood. Really strong blue-yellow card. I feel like it doesn't get its just due. Can come out for as early as turn 4. It could be a 4-drop. Comes out. When it hits the board, your opponent has to flip their leader over, and your leader can't use Awaken or Wish skills until the end of their next turn. So they can't use any of those skills. And it basically renders some leaders useless. If you play this against Hatchiyak, it basically destroys Hatchiyak because he can't attack for 3 turns. And he has to do the whole milling thing again. So it basically just beats Hatchiyak. But other decks, it actually can put some work in, especially against Surge leaders, because they have to use 2 cards in their hand again. Or just any normal leaders. They just kind of just puts them on the back burner for the rest of your turn and their turn. And not to mention that it is a 30k triple strike, so this can actually end the game for you as well. So good old reliable, we are running the H.O.M. package because it's yellow and I don't have the other yellow cards that I would like to run in this deck. So why not just run what I know is extremely strong still. So this card did not get hit by the ban list. I don't think it should. Card's not as broken. So we'll start with this one here. If you don't know what this card does, play it out for 3 yellow, has barrier, it's a 19k. And when this card hits the field, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch to the rest mode, and draw one. Doesn't obviously get through barrier, but that's okay. It has a sparking ability for 4 yellow energy. You can swap this card for a 8-drop, which is this bad boy here. When this card comes out on the field, oh man! So it's deflect, so it cannot be hit by that. It can be hit by barrier. Cards that maybe like Champa the Trickster or Deborah, things like that. So it still has a way to get hits, which is why I don't think it's never going to get banned. Definitely not as broken as Gogeta 7. But it has dual attack, triple strike. When this card hits the board, you if you play it by swap, you choose 3 of your opponent's battle cards or energy, ignoring barrier, switch from the rest mode. So it's not and or, so you have to pick 3 battle cards or you pick 3 energy. The best one obviously is to pick 3 energy. You pick 3 energy, tap them, and then you swing twice for 6 damage. Extremely strong. We run 3 of those, so we run a total of 6 total for the H.O.M. package. I think it's plenty. Some people probably won't expect it, since I'm not really going to be playing these cards out until I have Height of Mastery in my hand, and then I'm going to play it down. They're going to go, oh, that's what you have. What's nice is that if you have this on the field already, and you play the 3-drop Path to Greatness, at the beginning of your turn you can tap 2 of their energy, and then tap 4, play this out, tap the rest of their energy, or tap battle cards or whatever, and now they just lose because they don't have any energy. They have to out combo you. Smoke Dragon. Since we're gonna be going towards a sparking quest anyways, why not just add 5 more cards onto that, and then we can play out Smoke Dragon. Definitely the best SCR right now, I think, because it can be played in anything. As long as you can fill the drop up with 12 cards, this card comes out for 5 energy, and then you get to choose one of these awesome effects. You either choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, warp them, choose 7 cards on top of your opponent's deck and warp them, and then draw 2, or you rip 4 cards from your opponent's hand and send them to the warp. Lots of effects. Really, when you play this card, all you really need is 1 turn. If you get more than 1 turn, you're probably going to win with this card. And that's not enough. And if we can't win with that, we have no hand. We have good old Jiren. Quad Strike, dual attack, comes out for free if it's the only card in your hand at the start of your charge phase. Just kind of as a weird one of that can end up winning you the game if you end up drawing right. So that is my Broly deck. As I said before, I'll leave a link down below so you guys can check it out. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. It's a little weird. I'm gonna end up testing it and messing around with some of the stuff going into the next set. Definitely some cards I think should be added if I had possession, which would be Bergamo, 5-drop from Draft Box 5. May add Champa to it. Bardock Raider's Warcry, a must. I think that card is a 4 for this deck. It gives you some really good mid-range stuff that you can play around with. But we'll see going into the future. I think this deck is going to evolve a little bit, and something that I may be playing going forward. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.